So this is your final minute warning. If you could take your seats, please. Again, you could please take your seats. We're looking to get underway shortly.
Всем ассаламу алейкум. Мы сегодня на презентации новой эры IBA
this lunchtime, usually to be found covering boxing for the likes of Sky Sports, Boxing News, and of course, the IBA. Before we get underway today, though, first of all, I need to ask one very particular question. So, Avo, I have a question for you.
Hello, Andy. What do you want to know?
What does it mean to be first?
Okay, I will tell you now. To be the first means to take a step into the unknown every time. It means going where no human foot has ever stepped. Where there are no maps, no guarantees, no fear. Only will. Only dream. Only you. Since 1946, the International Boxing Association has united continents, peoples, and generations.
The 10th meeting of USSR and USA boxing teams.
We are its foundation, its roots, its heart.
The first championship, World Championship, was in Havana. Why we need sports? To avoid conflicts, for international sports to be such a peacemaker in all the conflicts, for sports competitions to resolve all the conflicts.
We have held 22 men's world championships and 14 women's. Belgrade 2021, the first men's championship where fighters received prize money, over $2.5 million. Istanbul 2022, the Women's World Championship set a record for the number of participants, 310 from 73 countries. Tashkent 2023, more than 600 boxers from 104 countries, a show of planetary scale. IBA today is presence in 191 countries worldwide, over $25 million in prize money awarded to athletes, over $8 million invested in national federations. We have gathered those who are divided. International boxing forums have become a point of unity. For all professional federations of the world, on one stage, under one flag. We have shown that boxing is a language understood by all. We believe those who unite will always be stronger than those who seek to divide. But to be the first means to lead the way. You cannot lead without possessing the fire. The fire that ignites others. With the leader bright, fearless, unyielding. With the one who knows how to inspire. With the one who goes first.
Boxing is a state of mind. Every boxer dreams of being the first in the ring, in life. Considering that I love this sport, I like everyone else want to be the first.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure to invite you into the world of International Boxing Association, to a new platform and home for boxing. International Boxing Association is not just a new chapter. It is an explosive orbit where sport, media, and art converge. It is a universe created for the best of the best. It is a point of attraction. It is a home for legends. This is the universe of IBA, International Boxing Association. First, today, tomorrow, forever.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. It's an unbelievable turnout. And what a location this is as well. A spectacular setting for the press conference and also for the fight night that we've got coming up later tonight. Boxing really does take you to some places, but watching that weigh-in yesterday with Albert Badagaziev, an Olympic gold medalist, and Jazza Dickens, somebody who I've been covering for years now, watching them face off and weigh in framed on the banks of the Bosphorus, well, that was quite something. And it's a terrific fight night tonight and a great way to follow on from what's going to be a very interesting couple of hours here as we discuss the IBA Golden Era. We're not launching the Golden Era today, in case you're wondering. We are, in fact, already in it. So I will now be inviting up to the stage our guest speakers, our panelists today, who will all have plenty of things to say. So please do give them a big hand on the way up. I think I'll do this kind of ring walk style. I think it's a bit more in keeping with a boxing event. So first of all, if you could join me in welcoming to the stage, she is an author, an actress, a humanitarian, so many things in her own right, but as the daughter of the greatest, she is also one of the keepers of that Muhammad Ali flame. Please welcome Rashida Ali. And now if you could please welcome up to the stage an IBA boxer, soon to be a champion, I am sure, a trailblazer for Bangladesh. Please welcome Zinat Fudos. Next up, a man who in September will be looking to become a 3-weight undisputed champion when he takes on Canelo. He's already conquered 2 weight divisions outright, a modern great. Please welcome Terence Crawford. And now to the stage, he is the Secretary General and the Chief Executive Officer of the International Boxing Association, the Silver Fox of the IBA. Please welcome Chris Roberts, OBE. And next up, the man with the plan for IBA Pro, a man who, in my experience, has never encountered a problem he is unable to solve. He is the Winston Wolfe of IBA Pro. Please welcome Mr. Al Siesta. So next, I have to say now former unified heavyweight champion, 2-time heavyweight champion, because he is, of course, happily retired these days. In his time, he won every single one of the major sanctioning body belts, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO. He did the lot. He completed the game. It's the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Okay, and last but certainly not least, he is the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of the International Boxing Association. Please welcome the president, Mr. Umar Kremlev. So welcome everybody, great to see you all, great to see so many people in attendance, and we've got lots of interesting things to talk about with all of our panelists, but just before we get to that, I just want to offer a few thoughts from the International Boxing Association about what it means to be embarking in this new direction and what it means to be part of the organization. Because boxing is evolving always, transforming. It's a sport that just never, ever stands still. You can see that throughout its rich history, and that true change in the sport has always been driven by individuals. The Marquis of Queensberry, who created the rules of modern boxing, Muhammad Ali, unquestionably the greatest of all time, an icon whose legacy continues to inspire. The legendary Roy Jones Jr., who is with us today, who revealed the sheer artistry of boxing whilst collecting titles across multiple weight classes. Nicola Adams, the first ever female Olympic boxing champion. From the American and Cuban schools to the Soviet and British styles, boxing always has been and remains incredibly diverse and also deeply unifying. It's a sport rich in emotion, a stage for life-changing moments, a force that's reshaped the destinies of millions. Within this diversity, the International Boxing Association, soon to mark its 80th anniversary, stands at the foundation of all of it. Under the IBA's wing, the greatest champions took their first steps, grew and built their legacies. Without diminishing anyone's achievements, the truth remains, without the IBA, none of this would exist today as we know it. The organisation has seen its share of triumphs and trials. In 2021, at a critical crossroads and on the brink of collapse, the IBA found a new path under the leadership of President Umar Kremlev. That marked the beginning of the IBA golden era, the very era that we are witnessing today. Thanks to this transformation, boxers across the globe can now dedicate themselves fully to the sport that they love. They can train, compete at the highest level, transition into professional boxing and build post-career opportunities, all while earning a living and securing a future for their families. And that is a future that we have all been waiting for. And so without further ado, I'd like to hand over to the President, Mr. Umar Kremlev, just to expand on that and give us his vision for the golden era moving forwards.
Good afternoon, dear gentlemen, sisters and brothers. I'm very glad that there are many champions sitting in this hall, and boxing champions as well as the champions who are fans for the development of boxing. And I would like to say that our goal is to make sure that every boxer, every athlete should know that IBA, it's his boxing home. And wherever the boxer, the athlete is, in which point of the world, in any difficulty, they can go to IBA. IBA will always support them. And this is our main goal. And also we understand that we should create such opportunities when mothers, parents are sending their children to box. They should understand that the child will receive a social lift, not just in words, but also but a real social lift, social elevator, and would be establish a new future for himself and for his family. And I think now I will give the floor to our champions, to those who will be speaking a lot. We will be more speaking about IBA itself, and we are now creating an ecosystem. Secretary General will be speaking more about this, but the format is bare knuckle. Why bare knuckle? Because it's the history of boxing, and that's why we as IBA should also regulate the bare knuckle fighting. It's the history of boxing. First, we started from bare knuckle fighting, and then we have developed boxing. And of course, we have a bare knuckle championship to make sure our boxers would participate. Some people will be champions in this area, and we are responsible for creating all the opportunities for them, and also for the fans of the boxing, for the players themselves. We have also created a game, IBA game, and each boxing fan can play it, and there are different opportunities for people to participate. Also, we will have prize rewards, prize rewards also in the game, just as well as in the World Championship. And the champion of IBA game will also receive money, just as in a real tournament. And maybe they would like to participate in the real championship as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. President. And the things you mentioned towards the end there, of course, are things that we will get to with presentations throughout the course of this lunchtime. So now I'll hand over to you, Chris, to Chris Roberts, OBE Secretary General and CEO of the IBA, just to talk a bit more maybe about the amateur side of things currently.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Firstly, it's a great crowd. I'd like everyone just to give a round of applause to the President here, because he's done an absolutely sterling job for the past few years. So I'd just like to give a round of applause for the President and the work that he's doing. Transitional. IBA is a full hybrid. We've got an ecosystem, a hybrid organization that manages from schoolboys, schoolgirls, right the way up through to professional boxing. And as the President has just said, we're now moving into IBA bare knuckle. We've got a boxing game. We've got other things going on in the background. But the ecosystem is to provide a platform of success for our kids of tomorrow that can come into the ring and see the stars here on the TV competing up to world champion. And we see our friend Mr. Tyson here. Great to have everybody in and looking at the capacity of IBA. And we talk about the operational capability. The operational capability of our organization is huge. And we're not here to prove anything to anybody. We just go out there and we do it. Amateur boxing is happening. It's happening all over the world. It goes across all 5 corners of the globe. 5 corners being all continents. And this for us is important. It's important why? Because it's the bread and butter of tomorrow. The boxers come into the stage and we're providing those conditions, moving forward with continental championships, world championships. We've got world championships happening this year in Dubai, back end of the year, which ties in with our Congress. And what you'll see is the build-up process towards that, with all of these events. The IBA Golden Era, Andy, is something that we've been doing for a while. We're moving forward now. We have projects everywhere, and it's about bringing all of this together. It's about collecting the projects and creating those conditions so that everybody can see and be part of it. And that's why we've come together today. You'll see a fantastic press conference with lots to discuss. Also as well, the event tonight, which I know Al's going to talk about. Al's doing a great job in the background there, pushing forward with IBA Pro, big connectivity, and doing a great job. And of course, for the amateur side, we continue to work hard. We continue to do our thing. We continue to support national federations. You saw the snapshot on the screen earlier about the 25 million that's been brought into this organization by UMA. And we've rolled that out and we've given that out to our national federations to support them, those countries that don't have anything. We roll the money out there, we help them with their events, we help them with the competitions, and we push equipment out. We've got some excellent sponsors who support the work that we do. And this is the thing that we're moving forward. I see presidents in the crowd here of our national federations supporting the work we do. And the staff are working extremely hard in the background. We put all of this together, and the calendar is currently being developed. I was discussing yesterday with Umar about the calendar up and beyond past 2028, past the Olympic Games and beyond. The World Championships and the work that we do towards that, and the elite boxers that you see here, creates a platform that gives our boxers the opportunity to pull through from amateur boxing to professional. And I spoke with Terence about this when we were in, where were we? Yeah, we were talking about it, and the opportunities that he had or didn't have as a youngster. And look at him now. If we'd have provided that for him, he would have been even a bigger star. And of course, you know, this is something that we want to do for our children of tomorrow. So lots going on in IBA, lots to do. You're going to see lots of information continuing to come out check the website. Lots of PRs going out there discussing what we're doing. And you know, we look forward to continuing the success and the future and work that we're doing now with our kids, as I say, of tomorrow and the elite boxers. So, Andy, onwards and upwards for IBA, yeah? We're just going. We just do our thing. We just do our thing. And it's the best. Look, that golden era.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Thanks very much. That's kind of the perfect segue, actually, into having a chat with you, Zinat, because Chris was talking about providing the right conditions for fighters there and supporting national federations who don't have too much of a background or infrastructure in elite international competition themselves. And you know all about that because you, as I said, on your ring walk, you're trailblazing boxing for Bangladesh. So why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got into boxing and how you now find yourself here.
Thank you, Andy. Wow, what a privilege to be here. I just want to kick off by just saying to be amongst present, past, future superstars, it's a huge boxing career highlight for myself. Thank you to IBA for the invite and for being on this panel to share my story and giving me the platform to share it. Yeah, I had a unique story. I started boxing at the age of 27 with no prior experience in playing any sports. I picked it up as a hobby, and 3.5 years later, 37 fights, 9 medals later, I'm here today. The former half of my career, thank you. The former half of my boxing career, I started in the US. I live and train out of New York City. And then the second half, I now represent Team Bangladesh. Yeah, the goal really is to do what, you had mentioned, Chris. It's to be in the forefront for a country like Bangladesh, which is a developing country, doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the funds. I got introduced by IBA and some of the personnel within IBA through some of the tournaments that I was invited to. Because of some of the prize monies that I ended up winning, was able to invest that back into my training. Everything up until today has been self-funded. I tell people that my corporate job is actually funding my very expensive hobby, which is boxing. But things that IBA is now offering is allowing me to take the step further. And I'm able to see a potential to hopefully win in the Women's World Championship in 2026, or participate in the 2028 LA Olympics. But if it wasn't for these resources and opportunities, I wouldn't be able to do that.
I just need to ask you, this has been a huge topic, obviously, in the last year or so in international elite amateur boxing, the question of gender eligibility in female boxing. It's complex. It is a complex issue and a very, very important one. Just give us your thoughts on it, on what has happened over the last year or so. And as an active participant, what is the most important thing that needs to be addressed, do you feel?
It is a very complex topic. I think it's one where I can say a lot, and there's a lot of thoughts behind it, but I don't need to do that. I think what I need to say is very little, which is, as an active participant, I would like to have the opportunity to play safe and play fair amongst my opponents in every tournament. And the expectation is that the governing bodies that's overseeing these tournaments are giving me that opportunity to perform on the right space. So.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks very much, Zinat. So time now to have a chat with Alcesta. We'll segue from talking mainly amateur over to IBA Pro, which is something that has really taken root over the last 2 or 3 years, and something obviously that you are fundamental to, Al, as director of IBA Pro. We've got a terrific card waiting for us tonight. I've covered plenty of these. We've been working together, the pair of us, and the matchups have been really, really good. So just talk to everybody about what is the plan with IBA Pro and how is it different and what are you looking to achieve?
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible turnout. I'm just looking, with this amount of talent and beautiful people, we can take over the world, I'm telling you that now. IBA Pro, first of all, Mr. Umar Kremlov. We had conversation. He told me the vision. And he's a very genuine individual who loves boxing and ready to give everything for boxing to succeed. The kind of guy I was looking for all my life. Trust me. I had different opportunities, maybe taken away from me, had different prejudices. My life was very non-conventional, traveling all over the world, looking to find the space for myself. And IBA became an incredible home for me, giving me the opportunity cognitively to my talent, my vision. When it comes to IBA Pro, as Chris explained so well, this is like Real Madrid. From early stage, you get to academy, then you go through your amateur ranks, and then eventually, if you're interested, if you want to continue your career, you come to us, to IBA Pro. And we will try our best to enhance your career, to manage your career, to promote your career. Media, talent-wise, I think we are the best. The future is with us. When it comes to the governing bodies such as WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, we're open for collaboration. We're not a competition. We're welcoming. We're doing our own thing, and we want to work with everybody. As the time will go by, we will develop our rating system, and the best will be rated. This is no prejudice in there. Literally will be formed on your ability, not like any other circumstance. IBA Pro is all about talent, all about talent. If you can fight, this is the home for you. Andy,
okay,
thank you.
Al, thanks very much.
Ask me the questions. It's much easier for me.
Okay, so when it comes to putting these matches together,
yes,
it's always struck me that there is this huge catchment area of fighters who, when they came out of the amateurs, Russian fighters, Uzbeks, Kazakhs, in a lot of countries there wasn't really the infrastructure to turn pro, and they would have to go and try and make it in the USA or make it in the UK, countries where, with the best will in the world, the boxing public are never going to care about them as much as they cared about in their own country. But is that something that you're looking at, providing these, because there's such a depth of talent there, providing them with a route into the pros where they can stay at home almost?
Absolutely. This is the idea. We're a big international home of boxing, as Mr. President said once. And this is the opportunity for everyone. We would come to the United States, to the UK, to Latin America, everywhere, if we would have been welcomed. And we will be welcomed, because what we carry is light. We don't come from darkness. We are a very genuine organization that understands boxing, support boxing financially and emotionally, cognitively. We know what to do, and what you just said, this is exactly what we're trying to do. Absolutely. In terms of amateurs coming to us, we've got fantastic pool of fighters with the amateur pedigree and understanding how the amateur system works. And this is no-brainer for us. The IBA Pro, it's a wonderful elite. It's like icing on the cake, really, for boxing.
Thanks very much, Al. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So now to our two fighters, our two male fighters on stage, I should say, Terence Crawford and Tyson Fury. I think it'd be quite fun to get you two having a conversation with each other almost, as well as talking to me. But Terence, starting with you, firstly, thanks for being here, because it's not that long actually until your fight, September the 13th in Las Vegas against Canelo, when you look to become a three-weight undisputed champion, which in this era of boxing, when there's a lot of politics and fights can be hard to make and unifications can be tricky, let alone undisputed, would be an absolutely incredible achievement. I mean, how are you feeling? You must be about to start camp. Are you going into camp after this?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've been working out. You know, actually, I just got done running before we, head into the press conference. So everything is going according to plan, and I'm looking forward to becoming a three-time undisputed champion come September 13th.
I remember talking to you in Dubai about IBA and the work that they were doing, and one thing that you picked out and pointed out to me was that the funding for the amateurs and the fact that you can win prize money, and as Inat said, now if you do well, you can almost self-fund. That's a big development and a really important thing for you, isn't it? Because a lot of fighters, it's a hard road, it's long journeys, it's a lot of training, it's a lot of kit to buy. If you can get that help with prize money and other funding, then it gives so many more people the chance to maybe make it to where you are.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's a lot of talented kids out there that don't have the finance to, you know, go to certain tournaments because, you know, they can't afford it or have the proper boxing equipment because they come from humble beginnings. So, of course, a prize money will help them and their family out to where they can focus on boxing full time and not, you know, have to have a job or leave boxing or do boxing for part time.
Tyson, you fought all over the world, so you know exactly what we mean when we talk about boxing being a global sport. I was at your fight against, the third fight against Deontay Wilder, fairly fresh out of COVID anyway, in Las Vegas, unbelievable occasion, stadium fights in the UK, Saudi Arabia. You're a globetrotter. You'll go wherever there is a ring. Well, used to anyway. You're retired now. How is that, by the way? First of all, how is retirement?
So first and foremost, I want to say big shout out to Umar Kremalev for bringing me over here. Look at this crowd! Wow. A lot of people turned up, some of the world's best fighters, personalities, UFC fighters, managers, promoters, cameramen, TV, everybody's here, so it's definitely a big event. I want to thank again for bringing me, the GK, to Turkey, to the IBA boxing event. Can't say better than that. And I heard you say I was one of those people who travelled around the world for boxing. If there was a ring there, I'd go, yes, but it was also a travel around the world and I'd say, show me the money. We're prize fighters at the end of the day. We fight for the highest purse. And it's fantastic what Umar's doing and the IBA's doing with the investment into amateur boxing. I boxed in World Championships, European Unions, all the IBA boxing events, and we didn't get fuck all, basically. Sorry for me swearing. If you don't like it, big door there, get through it. Yeah, we didn't get anything. We got a plastic cup, and today, I see it today, and I see all these millions that's going out to all these young fighters and prospects coming up through the ranks. It's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic work, I must say myself. And like I say, it's a pleasure to be here yet again. Thank you.
And do you feel like boxing as a sport can grow and grow and get bigger and bigger? Because it's one of those sports where big fights pull in a kind of floating audience like nothing else really. Week to week, it can still be quite niche in terms of how many people follow it. But do you feel like we can get boxing much more back into the mainstream of the sporting conversation on a weekly basis?
I think so, for sure. You know, boxing's on a massive high at the minute. All the big fights are being made, all the undisputed fights, all the fights that didn't happen for the last 10 years for whatever reasons. It's mainly money. They're happening now. So yeah, we're in a fantastic place. But I think what boxing needs, more than talent, because you can go to these World Championships, Olympics, everything, so much talent there, gold medal after gold medal after gold medal. But we need to work on people like the way they produce themselves, the way they go out to the public, the way they entertain. It's an entertainment business as well as a talent business. And I think with the way it's like the Oscars of boxing at the moment. I feel like I'm at the Oscars. So this is a great start to building a big profile for the IBA and the amateur boxing coming through who's going to turn pro. Because with this platform, you have the amateur boxers who are going out there and putting themselves out there, and they can do like these pro fights as well with IBA, and then they can go on and become big stars, and I think that's how you do it.
I was saying before that you've won every belt there is to win, as has Terence in two different divisions.
Тайсон сейчас хорошую дал идею.
Yeah, you've given amazing ideas here, and I've heard really amazing thing. We should give Oscar in box, and we will provide this idea at the Congress in United Arab Emirates, where we will have the championship for boxing, and the best boxers will get the Oscar this year from ABA, and it will be the first year when the boxers will get Oscar. That means, you see, that's amazing that I hear your ideas, and that's so important to me to hear it. means much, really. Amazing idea.
Out of retirement, maybe, to try and clinch an IBA Pro belt? That's one you haven't got.
Listen, I've not got an IBA Pro belt, rather. And I'll just say one thing to that, to him, show me the money! I'm available. I'm young, free and single, ready to mingle.
Okay, well, let's just ask you about, you talked about talent earlier on and you talked about entertainment. This fight he's got coming up, Terence, against Canelo, to become undisputed at super middleweight as well as at super lightweight and welterweight. I'm sure you'll be watching. Maybe you'll even get yourself over there. Who knows? You get everywhere. What do you make of that fight and what do you make of his chances?
I think it's a fantastic fight for boxing. You know, you got two great champions going head to head for all the marbles, and Terence has been undisputed before in 2 different weight classes, and Canelo's done the same. He's been undisputed before as well, and I think it's bigger than the belts and bigger than all of that. You know, you got 2 men, pride's on the line, everything's to fight for, and they're both great champions. So I wish them both luck and all the best, and I hope they go in there, do the fight, entertain the world, and get out there in one piece and go home to their lovely families, because that's what it's about. That's what we fight for.
And just to let the pair of you know, actually, there is off the side of the press conference room here, there is the IBA Power Punch machine. It's like a kind of punching machine you see generally in boxing venues, but just better designed, I would say, to try and take into account the correctness of the punch and technique and weight transfer and all that kind of thing. So I just wonder whether we might be able to tempt the pair of you into testing out your power on it at some point today. Maybe not you, Terence, because you have to look after those hands, I guess, but maybe the GK will give it a go for us later on.
You want to break my jacks, do you? Here's the things, yeah? Don't you know, Wilder called me pillow fists. I can't punch, 0 power.
Yeah, I don't think I really believe that. So, you know, maybe you can set down a marker and then other people can go and have a go and see if they can get close to it. We've got plenty of them over there. We've got plenty of fighters here in attendance, so I'm sure we'll...
You got David A in here. He's the big punching man. He's the knockout king.
Got Derek Chisora, got the Smiths in the front row here, Vidal Riley, Spencer Oliver, Johnny Nelson. Roy Jones seems to be kind of just turning away and hiding from the prospect of, I'm going to go on the punch machine maybe, but, well, the man next to him I'm sure would oblige. Well, gentlemen, thanks very much. It's always great to see you. Al?
The president just mentioned, he said, as Tyson mentioned, IBA Pro belt. You started from IBA, haven't you? Did you start from IBA?
I did, yes.
IBA would be fantastic if you could finalize your career with IBA Pro.
I'd love to.
Talk
like
to
I
the
said,
man.
for sure.
Talk to the man.
Speak to Spence and we'll sort it out. September, October, November, December, I'm ready.
Is that availability calendar?
100%. Let's go.
There's another one. That's another IBA Pro contender there.
100%.
Okay, so the question was, in case people couldn't hear it, from Derek Chisora, if the money was right, would he fight Anthony Joshua under the auspices of the IBA? And, well, you heard the answer, 100%. So let's see. It's strange, you know, because when you retired, you never got the fanfare that you really deserved, because I think people, they expect you to come back. They do expect you back.
I have been known as a boomerang. I always come back.
Okay, thanks very much, gents. Thanks very much indeed. So that leads us neatly, talking of extreme talent and entertainment, and of course Tyson being a heavyweight, that leads us on nicely to yourself, Rashida, because there is no more famous athlete in the history of the universe than Muhammad Ali. I think that's fair to say. I don't think anybody would argue with that statement. It's a statement of fact, and that legacy is still alive today, as it always has been, and I think always will be. And when you speak to great fighters like Tyson Fury, like Terence Crawford, and they tell you what he meant to them, I mean, it must mean an awful lot.
First, I want to thank Umar Kremlev. Thank you so much. The whole entire IBA staff, everyone's been really just so incredibly wonderful and just respectful. All of you guys here, thank you guys so much for coming here, and I'm showing this organization so much love and respect. When fighters come up and tell me how much Daddy meant to them, it just warms my heart. And because Daddy was always bigger than boxing, he said his cause was bigger than boxing. And for him to be able to still have so much power and resonance over other fighters, it would just make him cry to think, because that's what he's always wanted to do. He wanted to help others. And that's not just in the ring, it's just as a human being, he wanted to make people great. He wanted people to do great things. And I think he did that. So again, thank you all so much for showing Daddy so much love and respect, because I think he would be so proud that he's still making a difference.
And if you could just share this little story you told me earlier on from 2010, Las Vegas, I think it was, when he went to the went to a Shane Mosley fight, Mayweather Mosley, was it? I think was the fight.
Yes. Well, first, I want to say one thing about the IBA. The IBA is walking the crossroads between incredible talent and massive global influence. And that is the path that my dad walked. He didn't just walk that path. He owned it for a long time. And I just want to say that the IBA and my dad's paths are the same. I think that Umar is doing a great job in being able to show compassion toward other fighters who wouldn't normally have an opportunity, like Terrence mentioned. There's a lot of people who don't have opportunities, and Umar is giving them a chance to participate in the sport that they love. And so I think they coincide together, the IBA and what my dad wanted and his dream. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you. My dad had extreme faith, and I said before that his cause was bigger than boxing. He, no question about it, chose the other path. He went against the establishment, but for good causes. He chose faith over power. He chose faith over fear. He chose unity over division. And I think it was his religion that gave him the courage to speak up for those who couldn't speak up for themselves. And also boxing. Boxing became his platform to be able to change the world. So thank you so much. So now for your question. I know some of you guys who are here, I know Terrence was here, Saeed, a couple of other people were here last time for the IBA event in Dubai, but I was thinking of another story, but if you just to forgive me, I have to say this story again. Okay, fine. It was May 2nd, 2010, and the reason why I want to say this story again is because it just resonates about the kind of person Daddy was, as a person and a human being, how much faith he had in himself and how he didn't take himself too seriously. My dad had, at that time, advanced symptoms of Parkinson's disease, and he had an opportunity to see the Mosley-Mayweather fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. He was excited for weeks before the fight. We live in Vegas. My dad lived in Scottsdale, so he flew in for the fight just one night, and he was ringside with a lot of other celebrities that were there. And so Daddy called us and said, you know, let's hang out after the fight because, you know, then we'll have more time to connect. So we waited till after the fight. We went down to the MGM Grand and just hung out with Daddy after. And so me and my husband and my two boys, Biagio and Nico, was there, and Daddy came with his sister-in-law. So when we got up to the suite, Daddy's sister-in-law and the boys and Bob, they all went downstairs to grab something to eat. So it was just me and Daddy there. So I was up in the suite, and I'm familiar at this point with Daddy's habits and things like that. So I had asked Daddy, how cool was it to be ringside at that fight, to be in your element? How excited were you to be there? So my eyes were this big, and Daddy just sometimes, you know, with Parkinson's, sometimes you get a masked face where you don't have a big expression. So Daddy gave me that expression that was kind of like stoic. So when he did that, I kind of stepped back and said, okay, well, he has Parkinson's, and, you know, I'm just not going to make him talk too much. No problem. 2 seconds after that, Daddy looked at me and said, I think I'm going to make a comeback. And then I fell on the floor laughing, and then I said, Daddy. And then he was like, well, it might take 6 to 9 months. And then I fell on the floor laughing, and then he was like, I'm just messing with you. And I said 2 things, Daddy. I said, 1, only you could pull that off if you would do that. And 2, you would not only shock the world once, you would shock the world twice. And we all started laughing. But after he said that, it made me realize Daddy didn't take himself seriously. He really lived in the moment, and he enjoyed his life, even though at the end with the later stages of Parkinson's it was difficult, but he enjoyed his life. And he had an incredible amount of confidence even after Parkinson's, but he still was able to help people, would still be able to make an impact. And I remember watching fights with Daddy, because his favorite subject is himself. So we would watch fights together, and he would look at me and say, I was bad, wasn't I? I said, Daddy, you are still. He was still so humble, even after looking at his career and what he's done. He still was very humble and just really felt that he was just a regular human being, because Daddy taught us at a young age, don't ever feel like you're better than someone just because you make more money, or because God gave you a talent, or you're pretty, or you're whatever it is. Don't think you're better, because only God cares about your good deeds. That's it. And that stuck with me, because he was absolutely right about that. And then thinking back, I'm thinking, well, that's why Daddy was so humble, because he had things into perspective.
Thanks very much, Rashida. I could just imagine he probably still believed it, though, didn't he? That he could make the comeback, that he could beat them all right until the very end.
Yes, I do believe it. If he put his mind to something, even with Parkinson's, that's why I said, Daddy, if nobody could pull that off, it would be you, because he had his mental capacity was so incredibly, he believed in himself before other people did. And I just think I try to follow in his footsteps every day, because we all know boxing is, I used to think it was 50% mental. No, it's 90%. I have 2 boys that are boxers. One in MMA and one is a boxer. One, they're trying to kill me, I think. And 2, I know just walking with them through their journey, you have to believe in yourself 90% and 10% is talent. Because Daddy always said, the will and the skill. If you don't have the will, it doesn't matter if you have the skill. That's what he said, and he was right.
No, you see that on gym walls everywhere, don't you? To be a champion, you need the will and the skill.
That's with it doesn't matter what sport you're in, even if you're a professional accountant, or if you're an interior designer, or if you're an architect, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you have to believe in yourself in order to succeed.
Umar, could I just ask you, what does it mean to you as president of the IBA to have this connection with the Ali family?
Это самое главное, потому что
That's the most important for me, because if there were no boxers, there will not be any IBA. It's the basis of IBA, and everything that happens in IBA, all the new things, everything should be considered on the basis of the boxers and trainers, on their opinion. Without them, there will be no competition, no IBA, because trainer and boxer, they are the major people in boxing. And we, as sport managers, we are not the owners of the boxers. We are like helping them, serving them, providing them the decent conditions. We couldn't rule them and tell them what to do. We have to support them to provide decent conditions to them. And everything we gain, all the money the IBA gains, they should be forwarded to the trainers and boxers. That's our main task. That's why we're speaking about Muhammad Ali, because he made it like this, exactly like this. And we would like to follow the same path in his memory, in the memory of this amazing boxer, amazing person. He was really, he was a peacemaker. He was against the wars, and he refused from everything, and he was for world peace. And the same is IBA. We are against all the conflicts, and we are for the world peace, and we are the only sport speaking about this. Everybody is afraid, and we boxers, box family, IBA, we are protecting our athletes. We are working closely with them when we providing the decent conditions to them to fight. And let's make all the conflicts to happen at the boxing arenas. We support the friendship. We connecting people, and that's our goal.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We've got a terrific fight night tonight coming up, of course. And if you could just have a look up at the big screen now, we will show you a new belt that is being introduced for the IBA Golden Era.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear audience, we proudly present to you the International Boxing Association Championship belts. Crafted from pure gold for the precious champions whose names will adorn the golden pages of IBA history. The gold champion belt, weighing 5.5 kilograms and made of pure 999 gold, will embellish the waist of the champion who is part of the IBA and can defend their championship title 3 times. And the IBA Diamond Champion Championship belt. This 5.5 kilogram white gold belt is adorned with 273 diamonds, totaling 65 carats, for the true, undisputed champions. Those who will become a true gem in the history of International Boxing Association. It will be awarded to the athlete who, besides their sincere and undeniable dedication to the life and work of the organization, can defend their championship title for the 5th time. The IBA championship belts are not just adornments, they are a tribute to dedication to boxing, the pinnacle of hard work based on discipline, talent, and love for the greatest sport. This is our gratitude for your achievements. This is our humble gift to your championship character, forged in fierce battles, and an honorable insignia in honor of our common legacy.
Okay, so that's the IBA belt being introduced to mark the Golden Era, but we're also marking it in another way with a collaboration with Hublot. Hublot have created a unique timepiece, a limited edition, only 50 watches crafted by special order to mark the Golden Era of boxing and the spirits of unity that we all share. So if I could invite to the stage, well, Chris is already here, Chris Roberts, OBE, but if I could also invite up to sign the contract, the operational director on behalf of DSAT, representative of Hublot in Turkey, Inanç Sevilir. Thanks very much, gents. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Inanch. So now on to 3 more topics to introduce this lunchtime. And the first one, I've seen some behind the scenes kind of footage of this, and it looks absolutely extraordinary. It's what is going to be the new IBA gym in Baku. It is set to be an absolutely supersonic facility. And joining us to explain much, much more about it, please welcome Emin Shagayev and Mohamed Sadik Ozchilik.
I'd like to welcome you all, and first we will watch the video.
Once people who didn't believe in themselves. They hid from the mirror, postponed their health, and lost hope. But then came a choice, a step forward. They embraced sweat, discipline, and resilience. Some stories begin with pain, and some began just like this.
The first word people say mom and dad, and my first word was shish kebab.
They weren't alone. Chagayev was there. And behind it all, a visionary who believed in change, Umar Kremlev. Together, they created the IBA Project, a movement to transform lives. In just 2 months, dozens of people lost 30, even 40 kilos. They reclaimed their health, their confidence, and their lives. And the results are plain to see. And now, this vision is growing. With the launch of IBA Gym, the mission becomes bigger, bolder, and more professional in Azerbaijan. But this is only the beginning. We invite you to believe in this transformation, and together, we can go even further.
IBA Boxing Gym is not just a boxing gym, it's a training center that we open in Baku. And everyone who wants to participate here does it free of charge. It's covered by the IBA. And the only thing the teams should do, they should come to Baku. The accommodation, food, and trainings, they are all supported and paid by IBA. It became possible thanks to Umar Kremlev's initiative, and we want to express our gratitude to him for this. We build a house where new champions will become champions, and we will create a new big family, new big team until the end. And now we will show you our gym.
First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I will now introduce you the architectural design of this IBA gym and boxing arena. This amazing facility has a lot of opportunities in it. There's a gym and there's a boxing arena. Also in the male building, there is a lot of opportunities for the visitors to improve themselves and also entertain themselves. As you can see, this is the boxing ring on the left and the main entrance and the gym section. And also there are several container houses for the guests who want to stay on the long term. This is another picture of the entrance, and more picture for the entrance zone and container houses, boxing ring, and also another picture for the entrance. And there is women and men sections are differing from each other. So this is the reception of the women entrance. And also there is a resting area in front of it. There's a beauty salon, massage rooms, pictures of the gym, Pilates studio, changing room, washrooms, relaxation rooms, and also a picture of the reception area of the men's section. And there is also restaurants, VIP cabins, and a store for the IBA products. And entire second floor will be dedicated to gym, and first floor will be, boxing area will be located on the third floor, and there is a swimming pool in the basement, and boxing arena will be differing from the main building. It is because of the security reasons for the visitors. And thank you. That's all from our side. Thank you.
В следующем году
Next year, I will say, we plan to have in Uzbekistan an IBA gym named after Hassan Boy, 2 times champion, and he also came, and we plan to open it in Uzbekistan in 2027. Also, we plan to do such in Emirates in 2026. Also, we have applications for different countries where we will implement this project. Our goal is to have an IBA gym in each capital of the countries in the world.
So there are big plans to open gyms in numerous locations, as you heard there, and that facility does look absolutely spectacular. And the IBA is also branching out into a different area in bare knuckle. There are 2 bare knuckle fights on the card tonight, contested by 4 highly trained, very, very skillful performers. And it's an interesting area. And joining me now on stage to discuss it, somebody who reached the top of the sport, amateur and pro, former super middleweight, Paul Smith. Paul, we were talking about this yesterday, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think a lot of the time when people think about bare knuckle, they're not quite sure what it is. They're not quite sure what the rules are. They're not quite sure how safe it is. These are questions that are asked by a lot of people, and what the IBA is looking to do is to answer all of them, to get it more consistent, to get it more regulated, and just to give fighters another opportunity to fight and to earn. Because if you're going to do this properly, then you absolutely have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, we spoke about it in length today and yesterday, explaining that bare knuckle is how boxing started. Boxing originally started before the Marquess of Queensberry rules as bare knuckle fights, but they were fighting so many rounds or no rounds, just to the very end. If it's controlled and there's the right amount of rounds, the round length being 2 minutes, which is also good for the amount of damage that will be done with no gloves being worn, then it's obviously a lot better and safer for the fighters. And I think you're right what you're saying. I think there has to be a legislation, there has to be a set of rules right across the board that are the same for bare knuckle fighting.
So you feel, I know, that the 2 minute rounds is important because you can inflict more damage with a bare fist than you can with a glove. So that the duration, it's important to get the duration right, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's important to get the duration right. Obviously, 2 minute round, you're going to be taking less damage to the face and the hands. I mean, when you see some of the pictures of it, it doesn't look too good, does it? But obviously, 2 minute rounds are going to be a lot easier. Three rounds or 5 minute rounds for championship fights, which I think is plenty also. And then the fighter's safety will be taken care of.
Tyson, if I could just ask you about this too, because I know that it's not something you've done, I don't think, but it's something that you are probably more familiar with than most, given the fact that you're a proud member of the travelling community. What do you feel about this as an initiative, as another outlet for boxers basically to make a living?
I have to agree with what Paul said. I think this is how fighting started with no gloves on back in the day. And men have always fought, haven't they? Men still fight today. You should go down Morecambe on a Friday night. Fights everywhere. But I think under a controlled environment, like Paul said again, I think it's good, you know. It gives other people opportunities to earn money, provide for their families, and give themselves a decent life, you know. when you bring all the judges and referees and all the doctors and things into the bare knuckle boxing, it's not as brutal as the way we do it, like the gypsies, like the fight outside for 10 hours until one man says, that's enough, I'm finished. Where with this, it's like boxing rules, but with no gloves on. So it's a little bit different to what I would be used to. However, I think it's still good because it's getting big, you know. There's so many different avenues now with the bare knuckle. There's a few different organisations. There's MMA. There's so much to go at. If you're a sports person, so much more choice. And I'm all for choice. I'm all for people earning a living and doing the best they can and providing for themselves and families.
And Paul, you're around the gyms all the time. You're plugged into the scene, and you speak to fighters of all descriptions. I mean, do you feel like we might be a bit surprised by how many people might choose this over traditional boxing?
Definitely. I think it opens doors for fighters who are retired to go into bare knuckle. They're not good enough or young enough in boxing, but they can go into bare knuckle and try it. But I also watched the show last week and saw 3 established good professional boxers, and they all lost in the first round. So it goes to show that it's not just your boxing ability. If you get it on the chin, you're going to go.
No, that's absolutely right. I don't think anybody will be taking it lightly. But as I said, it's maybe just had a bit of an image problem in the past, hasn't it? I think, and I think if people tune in later on and watch the fighters on the card, then you'll see them for exactly what they are, which is very skillful, well-disciplined, technically good boxers. Because you have to have that, don't you, if you're going to succeed here? It's not, you can't just stand there and just windmill. That's not going to work.
No, you've got to be good, you've got to be fit, you've got to be strong. And you've got to be a bit tapped in the head, I think, to tire as well. But these fighters are a different breed, and we'll see some very good fights, very well-organised fights and organised shows in the future, I'm sure, from the IBA.
Terence, would you entertain this? Would you fancy this at any point, do you think?
Not at all.
You prefer the gloves?
Yeah, for sure. And the pay that comes with it.
Бокс – это элита спорта.
Yes, boxing is elite and flagmanship of the sports. Flagmanship and elite is after boxing. But not everyone can be a champion. Why shouldn't we give an opportunity to other boxers to participate in bare knuckle? That's why IBA has started this. We want to centralize it. We want to have rules that are implemented. The health of the boxers is very important for us. With time, we will include new rules. We will add something. There will be changes maybe, but but first of all, we will care about the protection of health of the athletes. We want to make IBA the central platform of IBA bare knuckle, and everyone who will be participating here, they will be fighting for this title of champion of IBA bare knuckle. Of course, we will be paying prize money, just as in boxing, to make sure the families will be provided with all the means. Just as in amateur boxing, we have prize money now. In the amateur boxing, more than $5 million will be prize foundation and prize fund. And in 2028, we will have more than $25 million as prize fund. And the World Championship will be not each 2 years, but every 3 years, to make sure the athletes would wait for it and participate in this important event. The most important event is the World Championship, and in 2028 we will have $25 million. For the first place, the champion will receive $1 million in the amateur boxing. I'm speaking about amateur boxing. Why we are doing this? We want to make it interesting. We want sure this it will be having more coverage, and we will be also giving prize money for the 4th and for the 5th place. We will be giving prize money because some people give half of their lives to participate in the World Championship, and we should value their efforts. We want to make sure that the athletes would be able to earn, and so they would be able to pay for their trainings. This is the world now. Without money, you cannot do anything. When I was training, we had a couple of gloves for 10 people. And we also were sharing shorts. But I want each athlete to have his own equipment. And that's why we, as IBA, support equality. We want each boxer to have an opportunity to participate in the tournament. We want them to be able to realize their dreams, to reach their dreams. And when mothers give their children to boxing, we want to make sure they understand that they would be able to earn their lives through boxing.
As you say, it is all about opportunity. Paul, thanks very much for coming up to speak to us. As I say, 2 bare-knuckle fights on that card tonight, topped by Albert Badagaziev against Jazza Dickens. So now on to our third item, and you'll have seen this on your way in. You'll have walked past the cube just out front there, which is, for today at least, housing the IBA boxing games. So please do take the opportunity to test your skills at the end of this press conference if you wish to do so. But joining us now to tell us a lot more about it is Petr Chernov and Pavel Ilmenov. Well, first of all, we've got a quick video to tee it up. Okay, gentlemen, I jumped the gun slightly there. I'll welcome you up again. Please welcome to the stage Petr Chernov and Pavel Ilmenov.
It's so amazing event, yeah?
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. First of all, I want to say big thanks to IBA and to Umar Nazarovich Kremlov for giving to us to create this boxing project. I think all guests here can see a huge cube near entrance. Inside this cube, you guys can try our boxing game. Our game have 2 platforms, PC and mobile. And a lot of time we're thinking how to create really interesting, balanced game because our team, we love playing games. And first we make 3 cities. It's New York, it's Moscow, and Havana, where you can find opponent, a real opponent or AI opponent. You can cheer to the other guys, you can see how they fight. And second, on mobile phone, we make game and you can play guys only with 1 hand and 1 finger, because we make this game for simple people from all countries, Philippines, Russia, and gamers, they can play our game on bus, on subway. It's very comfortable, but our game have very rich punch mechanics. For example, we have jabs, right hands, left hands. We have strong uppercut, hooks. You can move like Mike Tyson or block head or your body. And we work with Eduard Kravtsov. It's a professional trainer. He show us how real boxers are moving on the ring. And on mobile game, you don't need to rotate screen. You just grab your phone and enjoy. That's all. Thank you.
IBA boxing game, a game boxing into modern culture. We want to make boxing accessible to everyone. Student in Nairobi and teenager in Istanbul. It's not about fighting at all. Boxing, teacher in intellect, respect for the opponents. In September, we are releasing a cool game. Maybe you know Turkish word çok güzel game, yeah, you know? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the next step, a surprise for you. Albert Baturgaziyev will sign the contract with IBA boxing game right now! Wow!
Tyson Fury and Terence Crawford potentially could be next. All the boxing talent, guys, all the boxing talent, we are inviting you to join this game at your own time. You're welcome. All join this fantastic game. All the beautiful people here, all the boxing people, of
yes,
course.
please write in this email.
Yeah.
All sportsmen, we are welcome.
Absolutely, welcome everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Petter. Thanks very much, Pavel. And thanks to Albert Baturgaziyev as well for taking the time out to join us this lunchtime, just a few hours ahead of his fight tonight. So on to our final item before we get to the Q&A at the end. And when I saw the running order a few weeks ago and this appeared, I wasn't really expecting it because the IBA is making a foray into the world of fashion. And why not? Why not indeed? It's not really my area, if I'm honest, but luckily you don't have to listen to me talk about it. It is my great pleasure and relief to be able to introduce the visionary behind Euphoria Wear. She's the driving force of the IBA's fashion direction, the CEO of IBA Fashion and of Euphoria Wear. She is an inspired, ambitious leader who brings style and spirit to everything she touches. Please welcome Victoria Zhulkova.
Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Zhulkova and I am founder of Euphoria fashion brand and creator of the very first IBA fashion collection. Today we are introducing more than just sportswear. We are unveiling a new vision of style. Each piece in this collection is inspired by a single idea. Boxing is more than sport. It's a lifestyle. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you enter the room. We took core values of boxing, such as discipline, determination, courage, and expressed them through design. Our outfits speak volumes even in silence. This collection was born from the broader vision of what it means to be a boxer. It's for those who face challenges every day, in and out of the ring. For those who fight for love, for life, for dignity. Women's collection was made in collaboration with Euphoria, and of course, it is also powered by these ideas. We make clothes for people who feel deep connection with IBA, for those who feel like at home while they're boxing, because IBA is more than federation, it's a family. So, welcome to the family, welcome to IBA. And now, it's my great honor to pass the floor to a woman who really embodies both elegance and power, our very special guest, Naomi Campbell.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here and to feel the energy of boxing. Not only is boxing a sport, but it's a movement, and it's a state of mind, one that I have felt for a very long time. Boxing is something that I turn to. I've been boxing for many years when I need to get in shape for something, but most importantly, it's what it does for my mind. It brings clarity and it brings discipline. IBA Fashion is a clothing line that's here to win. And I want everyone here to feel what I feel, that boxing isn't only about the fight. It's about the presence, about the style, and the voice. IBA is not just creating fashion. Today, IBA is creating a movement, a community where everyone is felt, seen, heard, and deeply respected. And for now, before we will witness the very first show of IBA, a fashion collection, I would like to welcome the remarkable young girl to the stage who will perform a song before we start. And it's called What Matters Most. Please welcome Ilana Volkova, here to sing Life. Ilana, where are you? Where is Ilana? Is she here? Oh, here she is. Come. Welcome Ilana Volkova, everyone.
In a world so fast, we're chasing the stars, chasing things that aren't meant to last. I just wish that we could light up the sky with the colors of love high above. Feel the moment, don't look back. With every beat, just let it out. Tonight, things can get hard, but don't give up. We're gonna fly above the sky. We're gonna shine to make a change.
are until you let them go by. And you have to pay it. Any woman does. With an awful loneliness. Pay it. Things are until you let them go by. And you have to pay it. Any woman does. With an awful loneliness. Pay it. Things are until you let them go by. And you have to pay it. Any woman does. With an awful loneliness. Pay it. But you don't always know how important those things are until you let them go by. And you have to pay it. Any woman does. With an awful loneliness.
Well, that was terrific. This sport really does throw up some unexpected experiences at times, and a fashion show in the middle of a press conference is definitely one of them.
Get some wind to the sailboat, and it could get there for it is worth. It could, Frankie. It could be Frankie's. It could be very fresh and clean. It could be a balloon.
So a big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. That was terrific. Nico Ali Walsh bringing up the rear there, looking ahead to a career after boxing already, by the look of things. Thanks very much, Naomi. Thanks to Victoria. Thanks to that great performance from Anya. That was tremendous. And just before we move on to the Q&A, I think we should probably talk some fashion, Tyson, because you are a fashionable man. Look at the suit that you're wearing. But in all seriousness, yourself and Terence, fight kit matters, doesn't it? Kit matters. What you look like when you go into the ring. You want to feel good.
You want to feel good, you want to look good, and you want to perform. That's the most important thing. So I think choosing a fight kit and the stuff you wear in your corner and your team, I think it's important for people to make the right decisions to express who they are. You see me, I'm always in vibrant, colourful suits. This expresses my personality. Now, it won't be everybody to go shirtless with a Gypsy King logo all over the suit, but it expresses the way I am and my personality, so yeah.
And Terence, with the fight coming up against Canelo, how much input and thought do you put into what you're going to wear to the ring that night? Because as I say, it matters when you're making that walk to the ring. I know you're thinking about other things, but at the same time, fighters, they do love their kit.
For me, it never mattered because, you know, you can have on some of the nicest clothes, but can't fight a lip. I'll beat you up in some sandals. So, you know, to each his own.
Yeah, I believe you, but at the same time, I think you are going to be looking pretty good walking to that ring in Las Vegas at the stadium in mid-September. Sure. So now time for our Q&A section, and we are going to run this in the old-fashioned way. Anybody can ask anything they want to anybody they like, and we will be here for as long as it takes for people to get those questions asked and get those questions answered. And there are microphones, I think, floating around in various corners. So if I could just ask, if you just raise your hand if you would like to ask a question, wait until a microphone gets to you, then just stand up, tell us who you are, tell us what you want to ask and who you want to direct it towards. So who'd like to get us started? Okay, Wally Downs in the front row there, somebody I know from the Sun newspaper in the UK.
Tyson, hearing you talk about white collar, bare knuckle, it reminded me of your lineage to people like Bartley Gorman and Big Just Uriah Burton. And I wondered that before you become a big, famous professional boxer, did you ever have any bare knuckle fights? Or was no one stupid enough to ask?
No, it comes from a long lineage in my family, yes, you're right. However, I always participated in the boxing club fight game, and I always wanted to be a heavyweight boxing champion, not a bare knuckle champion, like my ancestors. So yeah, interesting question.
Okay, so at the back there, Rob Tebbett from Boxing News. If somebody could just get a microphone to him. He's the Artur Beterbiev kind of look-alike. Certainly around the back there. Artur Beterbiev wouldn't like that.
My question is for Al Siesta. Al, thank you very much for having us here in Istanbul. We're all very excited for the event tonight. We've got Albert Batagaziev against a British fighter in James Jazza Dickens. I just want to know what IBA Pro's plans are about potentially expanding into the UK market. We know we love our boxing over there, so it'd be great to see this travelling band and circus in the UK sometime soon.
Rob, you're welcome, of course. Thank you very much for participating. First of all, we are coming to the UK, but this is the question to the British Boxing Board of Control. If they are welcoming, we are ready. We are a big family. We're a very clean organization. We love boxing. But it's up to those peers, as you know, back home, what's going to happen to us. We're ready at any time.
And I know, Al, that you in the past you've been a big fan of doing, international competitions. We've seen tonight we've got a Russian against a Brit. Could we see Russians against Brits, maybe a 5v5 in the future?
Absolutely, we're ready. Brits are ready and Russians are ready, always. Strong nations, great boxing, you know it.
Okay, so the gentleman there with the baseball cap on.
Good afternoon, everybody. Julian Kivitz, IOL News and Mzansi MMA. You spoke about possibly expand to the rest of the world. South Africa, big boxing nation also. Social development's a big thing in our country also, and uplifting our communities. Can you just touch on any plans for Africa, South Africa? Thank you. President or you, sir? Doesn't matter.
Regarding South Africa, we have already conducted Mandela Cup there. We have conducted Mandela Cup there in South Africa already. And also we plan to have IBA Night of Champions, IBA Pro, and we love South Africa very much. African continent in general is a special continent where we have decent boxers, and a lot of events will be happening in Africa.
The Mandela Cup mentioned there was a competition that Zinat's won, I think, actually, whilst we're on the topic. You, sir.
Thank you. My name is Nenad Borovchanin, Serbian Boxing Federation. First, I want to say thanks, big thanks to Omar Kremlov, because he really built boxing to be great again. And this innovation in professional boxing also unite boxing and people in boxing. Very important. Boxers and coaches in amateur boxing now can live from money from IBA. It's very important to build the house, family, everything what is need. Then in the future, you can calculate on Serbia and Balkan countries to be hoster and organizer all IBA events. And also I want to take chance to invite our boxing brother Tyson Fury come to Serbia, and also Naomi Campbell to be ambassadors of Expo 2027. And in that year, we will organize big boxing show. Thank you.
Okay, we've got a few in the front row. You have a microphone there, sir?
Good afternoon, everyone. Umar Kremlov, you always say that boxing gathers everyone, unites everyone, and it's indeed so. I am professional MMA fighter from Tajikistan. I want to participate in boxing. All MMA fighters want to be in MMA, but I want to be in IBA golden era. UFC is in the past. The future is in boxing. That's why I want to show myself. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready 24/7. Kamil, when do you want to perform? In Tajikistan, in my motherland, I'm ready. Kamil Karate, Tajikistan is ready every second. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I am Bashar. I'm representing Saudi Arabia in this event, and I'm happy that I'm joining you and joining this press conference. For Saudi Arabia, what's the IBA plans? Do you have any plans to organize such an event the moment that Saudi Arabia is hosting too many worldwide activities and sport events? So what's your plans for Saudi Arabia?
In Saudi Arabia, we plan to develop children boxing as well as professional boxing, of course. But first of all, I want to thank the government I want to thank the Prince and also the government team, Turkiye and who contributes a lot into boxing, its popularization of boxing, first of all, and support of the athletes. Indeed, Saudi Arabia makes great effort to contribute a lot into the boxing at the national and international level, and we plan to have the World Championship, and we have a lot of plans because there are many conditions that are present in the Saudi Arabia, and we already have a good dialogue with the national federation. We have this exchange of experience among coaches and also athletes, and we plan to conduct big tournaments.
Hello, good afternoon. Gareth A. Davis from The Telegraph and TalkSport over here. Thank you for inviting us all, Umar Kremlev. Great to be here for the golden era of the IBA. How soon, Mr. Kremlev, will the IBA be considered the biggest sanctioning body in the world?
Actually, it is the only and the main association of boxing in the world. We are the only one that creates conditions for the national federations, associations, athletes, and the coaches, and we will continue doing this, and also everything that will be earned by the IBA will be given to the boxers, all the opportunities.
To that because I wasn't having headphones on, but when you sit here with the likes of the Gypsy King next to you, where do you rank the Gypsy King in all the heavyweights of all time?
He's one of the best of all times.
Gareth, can you hear me?
I can hear you, thank you very much.
He's one of the best of all times, in Mr. President's opinion.
Thank you very much. A final question for the Gypsy King. You're going to be asked this over and over again, Tyson. You look in fantastic shape at the moment. We know you do 2 workouts a day. How much longer are you going to keep us hanging on to tell us when you're really going to come back?
The question is to you, Gareth. How long is a piece of string?
Thank you very much.
Okay, so
Hello.
you, sir, are on the corner there at the front.
Good day, it's Zahar Adams from South Africa. To Zenit Firdaus, first of all, congratulations on your achievements. You obviously train in New York. Bangladesh has a very traditional society. Do you hope that your achievements will inspire fellow female boxers in Bangladesh to follow in a similar path? And how do they overcome their challenges?
Repeat the last part for me. How did what?
I said, and how would they overcome their challenges to achieve what you have done?
Thanks for the question. I've already seen some shift. I guess let me take a step back. When I started this journey and Bangladesh poached me to represent the country and represent them on an international stage, I was a little nervous. Will they accept me? Will they want a female to fight for them? And they proved me wrong. They've been really supportive. I think, unfortunately, due to the lack of funding, I haven't been able to take it as far as I'd like. But in general, there is support, and they are supporting me when I go to these tournaments and win with the best that they can do, whether it's publicity or write-ups, things of that sort. But yeah, the goal is to inspire the next new generation. At least in New York City, I've seen an influx of Bangladeshis come to my gym and hear my story and say, I want to be the next boxer, I want to represent Bangladesh. And so we're actually training a couple of Bangladeshis right now. So yeah, the goal is to inspire the next generation.
Okay, I think we've got a question from a Hall of Famer, Carl Froch. Where is he? There you are. There you are.
I'm here. How you doing? How you doing? I'm Carl the Cobra Froch, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and international boxing Hall of Famer, as you mentioned. I also once boxed in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. I just want to ask, can you envisage the IBA ever doing a stadium fight? Is it something is in your ambition box?
Actually, our championships, our world championships, they gather stadiums. You can see the last one, the amateur IBA World Championship. Even the amateur World Championship are organized at the highest level in Tashkent, in Uzbekistan. More than 10,000 people were participating. And speaking about as fans, as visitors, speaking about professional fights, it will be for 100,000 fans, and the best boxers will show their results for this whole crowd of fans. And our goal is not to conduct it only in one country, but also in all those countries where we have such big arenas. In each country, we want boxing to become the flagship of the sports.
Hello, Ludo Sanz, we notified. I have a question for President Kremlin and also for Al Siesta. As you guys know, Latin America is a very important part of boxing. During IBA, it has been, they've been helping the development with gyms, with equipment. Now things are shifting. The way they are, and the economic situation in these countries is very there right now. How IBA Pro is going to deal with Latin America? There's any plans soon for having an event in Latin America? When they're coming to Latin America to do boxing? Thank you.
Soon, in this closest future, we plan to have in Mexico such championships. We are now considering arenas. We want to do it at a big stadium.
Latin America is a big part of IBA Pro and IBA in general. We're looking into Mexico in October. Big stadium, big fight is due to be announced very soon. So we are focusing on Latin America. You know, Cuba, Panama, Venezuela is always on the agenda for us, of course. Latin America has greatest fighters, one of the greatest fighters in the world. Of course, we're aiming to come there very soon, I promise.
Hello. Question for Mr. Klemova. First of all, I want to congratulate you on this amazing event that showed that box is more than just a sport. And I come from Serbia, and in the name of the Serbian boxing fans, I want to ask you, will some event like this come to Serbia in the near future?
We're planning an event in Serbia. The major European
tournaments and international tournaments, because Serbia is really attractive to us and we don't need any visa. More than 100 countries don't need visa to Serbia, and it's also open to the fans from those countries. So for Serbia, we plan it as the center of the European box. And Mr. Kremlev, the question to you, how many time does IBA need to work to prove that Russia is the international center of box and global center of box? Russia is and was and will be the center of international box because Russia has the international boxing centers in process of construction now. We have the some basic competition funds for boxing and places. After the second fight with Bivol Beterbiev, you told that we're planning to make the third one in Russia. We are in the process of discussion of the Beterbiev in Russia, to have it in Russia. And the fight of Tyson Fury also maybe will take place in Russia. We are waiting for the offer now.
This is sports money from China. Today we witnessed the beginning of the IBA golden era. And may I ask, how much have you guys been invested in this so much big projects, and how much will be added in the future? How much money will you invest in these so many projects? Thank you, Mr. President.
More than $300 million.
Hello. I've got a question for Terence Crawford. Terence, you say you don't care much for fashion, obviously, in boxing. However, you did come out with a fishnet against Errol Spence, along with Eminem, so you do have the potential for the spectacular. Are you sure you don't have anything in mind against Canelo?
I got something in mind against Canelo. You just gotta wait and see, September 13th.
Can you give us a little hint?
No.
Okay.
Умар Назарович, салам алейкум. Ирали вот активно занимается.
Umar Nazarovich, here is our professional fighter, and we would like to fight in NBA. How do you think about it? Irali is our ambassador, and for the popularization of box, of course, we will support him for the fights, to give opportunity to him. We are in International Association of Box, and we're the home for boxers, and we are creating the conditions for promoting the box and to making it available for everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Patch Costin-Hardy from the Daily Star newspaper in the UK. First question for Umar. In the next 10 years, what does the IBA hope to have achieved?
It is the major international box association, and our major task is to create such a conditions around IBA, to create a system, to make IBA independent from sponsorship, and to have all the funding based only within IBA system. Because today we've seen the game, we've seen the merch, and we're planning to produce more. We planning to create like a fair, the bank system of IBA, and we're planning to enlarge our efforts to produce more commercial projects around IBA, and we will finance boxers and give them prize money and so on.
So the King's Birthdays Honours list was just recently announced, and your name was not on there once again. Considering your amazing success in boxing, as well as the millions you've inspired with your comeback and your other charity endeavours, are you surprised that you're yet to receive an MBE or anything like that?
I think we've touched on this a few times before in the past. The only honour I'd accept is Emperor of the North. And unless they can create that for me, I'm not interested in any other orders. Emperor of the North. That's it.
Not King of the North.
Not King of the North. There's only one king.
Thank you very much, Tyson. Thanks, everybody.
Mr. Kremlev, Emilio Marquiegui from Spain, Marca. Do you think will you finally work with all of the professional boxing stars, or it will be very difficult with all of them?
Мы уже работаем.
We are already working with them because all the professional boxing stars, they started their career in IBA. Because IBA being the one association who are growing the boxers from their childhood. So today, those who are completing their career, we would like to propose them to be the IBA ambassadors, and those who are continuing their career, we will offer them within the IBA Pro to conduct their fights.
Radio Raw here with Seconds Out. First, thanks you to the IBA for inviting us. What a wonderful event. Great hospitality. Thank you for hosting us. It's called the Golden Era, and I've seen the Ali family represented. We've seen the Mike Tyson family represented. Tyson Fury is here. Roy Jones is here. Terrence Crawford is here. I asked this question to the fighters and Al Siesta. How do you define a golden era? There are so many eras of boxing represented here and so many icons. What does the golden era mean to each of you?
Golden era, personally, to me, means exactly what's happening today. It's a new beginning, new union, and just reaching out, open the windows, open the curtains, and getting the boxing light in. That's what it is for us. Getting lots of golden light for us. It's a big, big start for us, and very soon you'll see that we'll do much more walking than talking, trust me. You'll see it very soon.
Tyson, you've recently retired. You're a fighter of your era, no question. How do you define a golden era in boxing?
I think the golden era is decided by making great fights happen, making all the best fight each other, and giving the fans what they want, the big fight nights, for sure.
And last one to you, Terrence. You're about to embark on an era-defining fight. You are certainly a fighter of your era. You say you want to be on Mount Rushmore. You just may be by the end of September. How do you define your era that you're currently fighting in, and what would make it golden?
I think, like Tyson said, you know, all the big fights being made, the best fighting the best, you know, I think that's considered the golden era.
And last one from me, we know that the IBA has had a lot to do with amateur boxing and developing talent, bringing fighters who may not have had the spotlight and opportunity to shine on a big stage. How important was the amateur career and experience to each of you, Tyson and Terrence?
Любите.
How important was the amateur...
Любительский бокс – это начало профессионального.
The amateur boxing, it's where the professional boxing starts, and within the golden era, we have to provide all the boxers their own gloves, their own gym where he can train free and prepare to its bright future. That's how we understand the golden era.
It's a beginning for professional boxing. It starts from amateur. It ends up in professional boxing. And our endeavors are to make that transition as smooth, as exciting as possible. That is a golden era.
Tyson, you're the type of fighter at heavyweight that people marvel at how you can move, the different angles you punch at, your defensive skills. How much of that was honed and defined as an amateur and becoming a professional? How much did your amateur experience inform your career?
I had a limited amateur experience. I only had 35 amateur fights. But it did give me the confidence to travel the world in many different countries, boxing all over in many different tournaments as an amateur. And I suppose it was definitely good grounding going forward. I've seen so many different cultures, so many different people, so many different boxing styles throughout all these world championships, Europeans and stuff. So when I was ready to turn professional at the young age of 20, I'd seen quite a lot and I was ready to embark on my mission to become heavyweight champion.
And finally, Terrence, switching from orthodox to southpaw, the kind of skill that you've shown and people have marveled at throughout your career, how much did that come from your amateur experience and all this time in the gym and turning professional and bringing it to your current career?
Well, it definitely helped a lot, being that that's where it all started from, being able to do the things that I did as an amateur, perfected the gym. That way, when I turned professional, it was natural to me. So everything starts from the amateur. You learn all the heartaches and pain through the amateurs and the different styles that you fight, the experience that you get in the ring, the comfortability you get by fighting in different countries and different, individuals. It all comes from the amateurs.
Thanks for all your answers, and thanks again to the IBA for inviting me.
Okay, you, sir, over there.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Добрый день.
Sorry.
Umar Nazarovich, я из Беларуси.
Question to Umar Kremlev. I'm from Belarus. I'm the friend of Vladislav Kovalyov. Today, you're working with bare knuckle. And in Russia, with MMA and bare knuckle, we have the fighter. Maybe you plan to sign that fighter, maybe.
Yes.
There are some promotion companies who doing the IBA bare knuckle, and this fighter can sign for IBA bare knuckle, and it's like a central promo platform for all the fighters. Here we're fighting for the bare knuckle title, and there will be a competition for bare knuckle fight. And the second question, you planning to establish IBA centers around the world? Do you plan to open such a center in Minsk, and when? We have it in order, and I don't want to talk much. When we will open the first gym, then we will open the second, and one by one we will implement those and open them. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Marcos Melocal. I'm a journalist from Inside the Game. My question is for Chris Roberts. Are you planning to organize professional and amateur championship at the same or different years in the future?
Sorry, repeat that again.
Are you planning to organize professional and amateur championship war the same or different years in the future?
So calendar is currently being worked up. I was discussing it with Umar yesterday. So we've got World Championship every year. We're going to be looking at 3 every year. The feed through goes directly to the professionals. So when you come to the major World Championships, we pick out our gold medalists, silver medalists, and then we feed them through to all. This is what we're talking about with the academy, the pull-through effect. So effectively, the full calendar is up to 2028. World Championships times 3. That includes junior, youth, senior, male elite, and females. And we continue to do this. Work continues, no change. Business as usual.
I'm from China. I have a question about this very controversial female boxer who won the 2024 Summer Olympics 66 kilo weight champion. I know you've already criticized this case, but in the future, how to prevent such kind of controversial result to happen again? And do you think this gold medal should be given back to the Chinese female boxer in this game?
Look, the message was clear. We went through the last 2 years of this process, and we've said everything we needed to say. At the end of the day, we have our anti-doping process. We have our male-female testing process, which we've done, we applied. Everything we've done is within the technical and competition rules. As far as giving any medals back to any other opponent, that's the task of the the International Olympic Committee. That's not our business, that's their business. But as far as we're concerned, we managed the process well. We did everything we needed to do. We got asked the question in Paris. We had the press conference. President was there. We discussed all. There was no deviation from our narrative. Our narrative was correct, and we continue to do that. Why? Because it's important that the right winner wins the gold medal. At the end of the day, what's fair is fair. So, you know, I hope that's answered your question, but there's no deviation from our work. That's what we do. We stay with the neutrality, fair competition, and our rules and regulations are clear.
Okay, we'll take
Я
two.
думаю, я здесь хотел добавить.
And here I would like to add,
У нас есть эти критерии.
we have those criteria and we define them within
Чтобы не нарушать женский бокс, это
our association.
мужской бокс.
We have
И нельзя
women box and men box, and our criteria, they are really strict. We are having the tests, and we doing the chromosome analysis, and we have men and we have women.
Второе, что хочу сказать, мы никогда никого не критикуем.
And we never criticizing anybody. We protecting our sportswomen. IBA is the organization that guarantees the protection and safety and transparency and honesty for the sportsmen and sportswomen. And International Olympic Committee, we informed them further and we provided them the papers. Today, they broke those rules and they are, you know, way behind the modern competition rules. They just applied those rules just now. They violated them because I think that, in my opinion, not giving back the medal, but as, you know, to protect our women's sport, female sport, we require from them to apologize, to bring their apologizes to female boxers publicly. Thomas Bach and his team, they have to bring apologies to the female boxers, and then they should take the responsibility and give back the medals to the sportsmen that deserved it. Because we know the fight of the Roy Jones on the Olympics. He didn't get his medal. We all remember about that scandal. And we also require this medal to be brought back to Roy Jones. And the international championship, we don't have any questions to judges because it's really transparent. And in the Olympics, we always have the judge scandals. And we truly recommend the International Olympic Committee to start the reformation there to update the system. And only then they could succeed. And now they have like a new managership, new managing board, and new president. I hope that she will start those reforms. And we insist on having the prize money, and the medals should be real gold. And the sportsmen should get the prize money. And then the Olympics will succeed. It will be interesting. Today, the professional sport is getting more interesting, and when the Olympics will bring back those rules, it will become more interesting. And I think they should rethink it, and they should make the reform.
This is going to have to be the last question because we're running out of time.
Can I give a question, please? Hilala Isakova, СМИ Узбекистана. Извините, пожалуйста. Наверное, вы уступите.
It's Hilala Isakova from Uzbekistan, and my question to Umar Kremlov. And I have the same question as my colleague from this about this center in Baku you're going to build in Baku. In your speech, you've mentioned that you're planning to open such center under the name of Saboy Usmatov, and it's a large sum of money. It's an investment to our country, and it will be the sum of $5 million, as far as I understand. Yep, that investments are in process of discussion from the International Association, and we are truly respecting his fights and his professional path and his job. Our task is to establish the gym under the name of great sportsmen in any country. But you're investing in other country, on voluntary basis. Yeah, we are doing it in voluntary basis just to promote the box and provide the space for training of children who will work within the box projects, and they will become the champions, and they will have the gyms named after them. And notwithstanding those investments and providing the equipment for the young sportsmen, still I have heard the talk that IBA is losing its positions, but still I see that you are flowering and you're on the top. But who are your competitors? How do you think? No, I don't think IBA can be a competitor to anybody, that we can have any competitors who are making such kind of work, such amount of work as a IBA. We couldn't compare a fly and an elephant. We're making so much to our sportsmen. We're not doing the competition thing here. We're just investing into boxing. We are promoting boxing, and the same as we kept box sport as a sport in Olympics, and we're doing that. That's what we do, actually.
Run out of time, I'm afraid. Oh, one more. Okay, you're the very last one. Make it quick, though.
Brian Pinelli, a freelance journalist. Question
Ben Fanali, журналист.
back to the wonderful legacy of your father.
Вопрос Рашиде Али. В 1996 году
I mean, how amazing was that moment? Were you there at the stadium that night? And obviously, what did that mean to the Ali family, yourself, and ultimately your father? What an iconic moment in the history of the Olympic Games.
There wasn't a dry eye. Okay, so the question was, how did I feel when Daddy lit the cauldron at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta? Thank you for the question, sir. There wasn't a dry eye in the theater, in the auditorium at all. True story, the Olympic Committee did not tell any of the family members. It was extremely confidential when they invited Daddy to light the cauldron. And at that point, Daddy was he disappeared from the limelight for a while because he was trying to embrace his condition. Parkinson's was getting worse, and he wasn't comfortable speaking in front of the camera. He wasn't comfortable shaking. So he did disappear from the limelight for about a decade. And then when the Olympic Committee asked Daddy to light the cauldron at the opening games, he initially said no, because he wasn't comfortable showing the world his new condition. And then we thought about how many millions of people that he can help, not just people with neurocognitive conditions, people who are dealing with complicated conditions that they're embarrassed about. My dad felt that he could help other people, he could be their voice who are suffering from other conditions. So he eventually said yes, and it was a really great decision, because a year after that, he had an opportunity to open up the Muhammad Ali Parkinson's Center in Phoenix, which helped people get properly diagnosed with Parkinson's and other neurocognitive diseases.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up. How soon or when exactly did you and the family kind of learn about this through your dad? Because I assume it was still obviously a big secret to the rest of the world.
So I didn't know Daddy was going to lit the cauldron until I watched it. It was a secret. They only told a handful of people, and then we had turned on the, I think my husband called and said, do you know who just lit the cauldron for the Olympic Games? And I said, I have no idea. And he was like, your father. I said, what? So that's when I found out. It was literally that really well-kept secret.
Okay, thanks very much. That's a great place to finish. Really good question, great answer. Thanks for that, Rashida. So that wrap.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry. I want to invite Mr. President Manazarovich. Я хочу вас пригласить для специального объявления.
I would like to invite Mr. President Umar Nazarovich Kremlev to declare the tournament, the IBA Pro Epos, which we are announcing now.
Я хочу вас пригласить со мной.
I would like to invite you with me.
So for years and years, we've been telling that boxing is a platform to resolve all issues, all conflicts, and now we are presenting our IBA Pro Epos, a project which will unite nations, countries, people who are usually fighting each other, who are usually in centuries conflicts, and we're going to bring them onto one ring.
Везде, где существуют между странами конфликты,
Everywhere where in the countries there are conflicts, we will establish competitions among these countries. We want to have peace in the world, and we don't want to have any conflicts. All the conflicts should be resolved in the sportive arenas, and we will have our athletes from Iran and USA now on the stage.
And Hassan Yousefi from Iran. We make this unprecedented move.
Также планируем боксеры Украины и России будет у нас также планируем.
Also the same we plan to do for Ukraine and Russia, also Israel and Palestine. We don't want to have any conflicts in the world. Everyone will be healthy, united under sports.
Foremost, and we ask all international organizations to join our movement, United Nations, everybody to join our movement. Boxing should resolve all conflicts. And now I invite you gentlemen to make a symbolic face-to-face. This is a unique moment, ladies and gentlemen. Friendship and boxing are beyond of everything. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andy. I'm giving the floor to you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Elena. So that wraps it up, everyone. Thanks for coming today. Thanks for bearing with us as we got through a lot of topics, a lot of very, very important topics. And of course, Fight Night is still to come. Fight Night is still to come tonight. I think boxing starts, Owl at 5:30 over the road, topped by Albert Badagaziev up against Jazza Dickens in what should be an absolutely terrific fight. So thanks once again. If you could just join me in thanking everybody on our panel here for their time and their comments today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you all again in a few hours.